Welcome back. It is another episode of Race Wars. I am your host, Maurice Cunningham. So let's jump into it. Epic weekend at the Daytona, at the Rolex at 24 in Daytona. A lot of great things happened. Porsche won again, clearly. Ford picked off their first win in the GT3. That Mustang GT3 had their first win in a major motorsport competition with them, with a company backing, with the factory backing in almost 50 years. It wasn't in the top category like it was in the movie Ford versus Ferrari, but it was in the GT3 category, so which is awesome. They won Multimatic. Great. We love that. We love seeing the Mustangs on top. GTD Pro category. We got one of our first viral moments in racing. Tommy Milner driving a bright yellow Corvette CR8 and Augustus Farfus in a BMW M4 Evo. Augustus Farfus had been blocking Tommy for like a good 3-4 laps. So in between hour 20 and 22, somewhere in there, he'd been blocking him because his Tommy Milner was in the lead in the class, and his teammate Augustus Farfus, the other BMW teammate, was right behind him, Madison Snow, I do believe, in the number one, and Farfus decided to block him, okay? And not just block him, but block him so bad that he lost like his 3-second lead. Like, he was blocking him everywhere. Like, Farfus gets a penalty. Milner, going down the straightaway at Daytona, sticks his hand out of a little window, shoulder, all the way up to the shoulder, okay? And just gives him the good old salute. I'm gonna read between the lines. He was communicating with him in the language of all people, and he gave him the bird, and it was beautiful. We needed that. I needed that. It was amazing. And I have seen nothing but those like, my algorithms are all geared towards racing, so of course I was going to see a bunch of them. But all right, so we're going to be taking questions. I did a poll on Instagram, and people answered. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for that, guys. I appreciate it. First question is going to be from Deshani Delight. It is a 3-part question. What got you into racing? What is your favorite series? And what event in that series is your favorite? What got me into racing, it started in 1989. I was a wee lad, and my uncle took me to the Long Beach Grand Prix. A gearhead, if you will, or just an enthusiast of racing. The sights, the sounds, the smells, everything. It's nothing like burning rubber and hot fuel. As a kid, you know, I used to watch it for the wrecks. I usually wanted to see people wreck. Don't get crazy with me. But I like to used to see people wreck. And then the older I got, to realize that is not cool. And you're gonna have to learn to just understand that these people can't just wreck their cars all the time. Like, it's weird. My favorite series, honestly, I'm still gonna, as much as I don't want to say, as much as I don't want to admit it, as much as I love Formula One, I am still an IndyCar fan through and through. I love IndyCar. I love IndyCar so much that it's an obsession. I still watch IndyCar races like I'm 5 years old and I'm at Long Beach and everything like that. I think that it is a beautiful thing. The next thing is that he asked, what was my favorite event? So there's 2 that I love in IndyCar. One is the 500, the Indianapolis 500. I know it's just people 500 miles, 200 laps, 500 miles, going on a 2.5 mile an hour or 2.5 mile oval. The most amazing thing ever, because it's just a lot. And I think I love it a lot because of the amount of pit stops that they take. Because of pit stop and strategy, it's in a race on an oval, it does take a bit of strategy to win. It's not simply just show up and turn, make left turns, make left hand, make a left turn. It's not that simple. It takes a great amount of knowing how much fuel to use, when to be in the draft, when not to be in the draft, when to lead the race, when to follow, and then kind of hoping that the cautions fall right kind of where you need them to, or making the smart decision when a caution falls in order to win a race. And then qualifying as well. That takes a bit. That's a whole month, like almost, it's 2 weeks, where you are literally trying to put your car in this 33 car field, which is usually one of the biggest fields of the year. This 33 car field. You have to qualify on time. And it's just nerve-wracking. Champions haven't made this race. Like, guys that have won the race haven't made the race. If it could tell you anything, but such a beautiful thing. And it takes place on Memorial Day weekend, so there's no reason not to watch it. A road race in Road America. That is one of my favorite races because it's a Formula One style track. It's almost 4 miles long straightaways, dark, fast straightaways, slow corners, medium speed corners, high speed corners. It has elevation and undulates. It is beautiful. Camber falls away. Camber gives in. Like, it is beautiful, that track. And if it wasn't that track, it would be Laguna Seca, because I'm a homeboy. Like, let's be real. I'm a homebody. I'm a home person. I'm a homer all day. So, any track in California would be great too. So like Long Beach, Sonoma, Thermal, which is beautiful. I've never been to Thermal, but it looks like a beautiful track. Old California Speedway, Laguna Seca, but honestly, Road America and the Indianapolis 500 are my two favorite events from those tracks. And to go even deeper, I love a good practice. I love free practice so much in every racing. I love free practice in every racing series because you get to kind of see who's trying to do what and who's going for what. So last year at the Long Beach Grand Prix, me and my wife were standing right outside of turn 6 or 7, right before they turn on the seaside and go down by the convention center. And we're standing there, and I go, one of two things is going to happen today. And right now during this practice session, either a rookie is going to hit the wall because they don't know any better, or a veteran who's pushing is going to hit the wall. And she looks at me and she goes, whatever. And sure enough, Will Power comes around the corner and hits the wall, coming into, misses the tire barrier completely, hits the wall, does a 360 does a 180, and ends up facing the wrong way on the track. And she runs back over. How did you know? You knew that was going to happen. You're so good. I go, it's just a matter of averages. Like, either rookies are going to push too hard because they're trying to prove something, or a veteran is just trying to find, he knows the track very well, but he's just trying to find that extra 100th out there, that extra 10th that he can get. And he knows where the limit is, but he's like, if I could get right up to the limit and maybe brush it, I might be able to get a faster time. And that's the name of the game. The name of the game is be faster than me. That's what it is. So I can definitely appreciate that. Thank you, Deshani Delight, for the question. Appreciate it. And if you have any more questions, always feel free to reach out at Racehorse Pod on Instagram, or email me at racehorsepod@gmail.com. Okay, I haven't received any emails yet on my Gmail, but I promise you I am looking for them. Okay, like, I have it set up. I could get all these stuff on my phone. I'm looking for it. The next thing is Kenny the Barber. He actually chose one of the things he wanted me to describe, which was the option was race weekend. So a race weekend is anywhere from 2 to 4 days. Okay, I've seen race weekends start on Thursday. I've even seen some start on Wednesday. Okay, the Sebring, I think they start on Wednesday and then they go to Saturday. So that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's 4 days. Most of the time you got about 4 days in there. They very rarely do 5. The smallest is 2. But usually it's about anywhere from 2 to 4 days. And so a race weekend is comprised of a lot of different things. Okay, so you have the main series that everybody is coming to see. And I will use IndyCar as an example. So in Long Beach, IndyCar is what people are coming to see. It's called the Long Beach Grand Prix, okay? Or the Acura Long Beach Grand Prix, if I'm being more specific. Or the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach, okay? So IndyCar will finish the weekend. They will race on Sunday, and they will be the last race that goes, and then after that, it's done, okay? But before that, you have support series races, right? And then all the things that go along with that. So you have usually feeder series or other series. So like at the weekend at Long Beach, there's You have the IndyCar, then you have WeatherTech Sports Car Series, which is IMSA, WeatherTech Sports Car Series. They usually have the GTP and GTDs, not LMP2s, so they usually don't race there that weekend. Then you have GT America, okay, which is like GT4s, like a little bit lower series. Then you have like fun stuff like historic cars racing around, okay? So like you get like older Indy cars and formula cars racing around the track. And then you have something like the Stadium Super Trucks that race as well. So those are always fun. They used to have the Pro Celebrity Race, which used to go back, just if you ever want to see celebrities drive cars fast and just get wrecked, go back. One year, Little Kim actually drove a car, ended up upside down. It was raining to her defense, but she ended up upside down, sliding across the track. George Lucas raced. His brakes failed on him one year, and he plowed over the top of a car. It was quite scary. But they raced. And so a race weekend goes in. So every series gets a practice, at least one practice, a qualifying, and then a race. Okay. Some of those weekends they have two races. So like the Stadium Super Trucks, Robbie Gordon Stadium Super Trucks, they have two races, right? They have two practices, a qualifying, and then two races that they race during the weekend. Okay. Same thing with IMSA. So the sooner you are to race is the sooner you get to like do all your practices and stuff. So like WeatherTech Sports Cars, they usually go out practice super early in the morning. So like if you get there at 7:30, if you get there at 7 o'clock, 7:30, you'll usually hear them motoring around doing practice. Now, during the practice session, you're trying different things. You're setting up your car for qualifying. And each practice, you're doing some type of setup. So let's say first practice, you're setting up for qualifying. Second practice, you may be getting your race setup ready. Okay. How are you on the long runs? Okay. We call those the long runs. So a typical race, a typical stint in IMSA or WeatherTech Sports Cars will be anywhere for GTPs. You're looking at maybe 20 to 30 minutes, 20 to 35 minutes. Okay. How good are you over the long run? How well do you keep your tires together? How well do you, how much fuel are you using, your energy, right? All that kind of stuff. In the GTD or GTD Pro categories, it's usually about 45 to an hour. So they run longer, but they're slower, right? So they're not using as much fuel as a GTP car. And GTP stands for Grand Touring Prototype, if anybody wants to know. Just curious. So it is, so I talk about the top series, GTP. So there. And so they tend to have two practices of qualifying on Saturday where all the classes qualify, not at the same time. They do them individually. And then they usually go racing on Saturday, which is their sprint race, like 2 hours, 45 minutes, like about 2 hours, 45 minutes. Yeah. For a sprint race. Then you have IndyCar, which they practice 2 practices, 3 practices, 1 qualifying, a warm-up, and then race. So what a warm-up is so on race day, you gotta kind of still make sure your car is good, and you don't want a car necessarily going out cold on the track. So what you do is you just kind of get oil through all the pistons and make sure your transmission stuff is going right. And you do a final check on everything. So warm-ups, you're not running super fast laps. You're running laps, but you're not running super fast. But people have wrecked in warm-ups and obliterated cars. And so all that kind of stuff happens. But that is basically what that is. That is how that rolls. So thank you guys for the questions. And I think that I could do a better job of this. I think I'm going to redo this video, but thank you guys for watching Race Wars. I am Maurice. Do not forget to hit us up on the YouTube channel, which is at Race Wars Pod. Also, we are looking for, okay. I dislike this so much. At Race Wars Pod, yeah. Come find us. Thank you guys so much. Come find us at Race Wars Pod on YouTube and Instagram, and then email me at racehorsepod@gmail.com. All right, thank you. Maurice, out.